here from Diane and welcome to our first video for February. Wow, we're already in February. Where has that time gone? So today we're going to do this card. I'm calling this a Z-fold barn door card. So it sits up, I'll just put it up like that, like so. So when it's opened up, sitting on the side, all of these actually line up so you can't see one behind the other when they're closed. And I just think it's a lovely card, and you write on the back. It's just easier than trying to write on the panels in here. I never finished this one off. I only did the front, but with the card we're going to be doing, I'm going to finish these pieces off. So let me show you. For this card, I actually used this DSP was retired, but it was really pretty to go with the butterflies, and I used the beautiful butterflies dies, which are not in here, so because they're too big, so they will be going down the side. But we're going to be using the Time to Celebrate again out of this set. So that's all we're going to be using out of this set, but we're going to be using this because this is actually retiring soon, Simply Zinnia, and we're using this flower here and the leaf, which I've cut out, stamped and cut out, because I've actually coloured them all. So I will actually show you what I'm going to do with those. Okay, and I also used the, oops, that fell off of there, this zinnia flower here. So that's that middle piece, the little stamens, the two petals and the leaf to make up them to go on the front of the card. So we're using those as well. I also am using this die set called, which is also retired, called Wanted to Say Dies, and I'm using the Happy Birthday out of that. So I've done that already because of taking the time to sit there and show you how it goes, but I can show you how it goes together anyway. And you're going to also need, and these are Spotlight on Nature dies. These are in the annual catalogue, and I used, let me show you, I used this one here and this one here. So this one measures 3 1/4 inches diameter, and this one measures 2 3/4 inches diameter, which is the same as what I used on that one there. So you get to see the pretty patterns around each one of those. Now you can use normal round dies, or I guess you could do square ones if you really wanted to and make it a diamond shape or an oval or whatever, but that's what I use there. So this is the card we're going to be making, and it's called a Z-fold barn door card. So let's pop those out of the way and let me show you what you need. Okay, so here's one of my flowers. I've done one of my flowers and I've got my leaves here for the front, and we will actually make the other flower up together so you can see how it goes together. Alright, so I've got the scraps for my 2 flowers. This piece was just a piece that measured 5 7/8 by 4 1/8, so it's a quarter sheet. Piece for the middle pieces, which was 3 inches will be plenty by 1 inch, that would be plenty. Then for the leaves I used another piece which was 1 1/2 inches by 6 3/4 inch. Then for my stamens I used another piece, and that will get out of 3 inches by 1 1/4 inches. Then this is my other leaf, my other zinnias and their leaves that I cut out. So that's for the inside, because we don't actually want them to be standing up, otherwise they'll come make it too bulky. And the leaves came out of a piece that was 3 inches by 2 1/2, and the zinnias themselves come out of a piece, these were just scrap pieces I had, but gives you an idea. 5 1/4 by 3 inches, so they can go in the bin. Then I did my Happy Birthday, which I did like so. So I've already done that one ready, and that came out of 2 pieces of card about this same size, which was 3 1/2 by 2 inches. Okay, so let's get on to the actual card itself. So for the main card you need a piece that measures 4 1/8 by 5 7/8, and then for the Let me bring this over here so I can read it a bit better. Then for my part 2 of the card, so that's part 1, part 2 of the card is 3 inches by 8 3/4 of an inch. Then you will need 2 pieces of card that measure 3 7/8 by 2 3/4, and 2 pieces that measure of DSP, which I'm using the Zinnia DSP. I really like this one, so I'm using this one, and this measures 3 5/8 by 2 1/2, so you need 2 of those as well. Then for my layer, for the inside of my card, you're going to need a piece that measures 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, and my designer series paper, which is from the same piece, measures 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. Then you will need, for the back writing panel, this piece measures 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, and a white piece that measures 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. Then you will need 3 circles that are 3 1/4 inches circles. So you need 3 of those, and you need 3 other circles that measure 2 3/4 of an inch. So that's my circles there. That's my writing panel at the back and my other pieces. So let's start on this piece. We're going to start with our piece of main card part 2. Now don't worry if you didn't get all the measurements, because down below you will find the link to my Facebook group, and that will have the written tutorial there, which goes live exactly the same time. So if you're watching this at a different date, then whatever date you're watching this on, not the first Sunday in February, just make sure you take note of the date, and then when you go to the thing, you just go into the files section and look for the same date with the same name. Okay, so let's put that on one side for a second, and we're going to bring in our scoreboard, and we're going to score our piece that measures 8 3/4 by 3 inches. We're going to measure this. We're going to score this on the long side, with the small ball at 4 1/8 and 8 1/4. That's all the scoring we're going to do. Every bit of it. That's it. All right. Let's pop the board out of the way. And we're going to fold this. Oops, I had a piece of something on the there. Like so. We're going to fold this so that the top one is a valley, oh gosh, I'll get this right. A mountain fold, which I've got that around the wrong way. A mountain fold. Okay, and then the other one is going to be a valley fold, or another mountain fold, depending on which way you got this. So you want this to be able to go onto your card like so. So our card is going to open like this. So I had that right the first time. Valley fold, mountain fold. So our card is going to open like this, back to front to what you would normally do. Alright, so that this little tab here is actually going to go onto the back of the card. So we're going to trim this bit, just notch this down a tinsy bit on each side, like so, so that it actually fits onto this card really, really nicely. So we're going to glue this onto this card like so. And once we've done that, we'll have our main card piece. So let's pop some glue onto the back of this. And then I'm going to pop this onto the back of this card like so. So let's pop that down like so, so that it's flat and flat along this edge here. This will roll over the top like so then, being nice and flat. It will all line up nicely. Once we've done that, we can give that a good press down like so. Now we won't see that because we will have our layer on the back like so. So you won't see that, just this tinsy wincy piece out the corner. Okay, so that's our main card done, like so. So we're going to open this up flat, and we'll pop that out of the way for a minute. And we're going to bring in our 3 layers. So we've got our 2 pieces that measure 3 7/8 by 2 3/4, and our pieces of designer series paper that measure 3 5/8 by 2 1/2, and our other layer, which is 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, with the DSP that measures 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. And we're going to glue all of those down flat onto those extra layers. Oops. Okay, we've got those all on there like so, and now they are going to, while this is laying flat like this, we are going to lay these onto here like so. Now I'm going to put this one on here because my words are going to sit down here. So actually, I think I'm going to put that one on the front. Like so. So my words will sit there once I've done my circles. So now we're going to just glue those into place like so. Oops. Bit of a wobbly wobble there, wasn't it? Okie dokie, we've got those all in place. Now we're going to do our circles. Now if you've got white circles and you wanted to stamp on here and then colour that in, you need to do that before you actually glue them together. So, you know, if you wanted your image, like I've got, where did I put them? Here. I've got these to go on the inside of mine here. So I'm just going to have those flat like so. But if you were going to stamp an image on these, I suggest you do that beforehand. Otherwise, we're just going to glue all of these circles together like this, making sure you get them really nicely in the middle. And the last one. Like so. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to close the card up and I'm going to pop this one down here. So I want to see how much I want showing out the top. Now, I want it to be so that when I put this one on here, my saying is going to be down here. So that's going to be about the height I want it. So I'm actually going to glue this one down flat onto the bottom of my card, inside of my card. Now if you have already done your stamping, you just need to be careful that your image is up the correct way when you pop that on there like so. But in this case, I'm just popping that there so I can see where it's going to go. So I'm happy with that. So I'm going to close that down nice and tight on there like so. With the next one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this on here, back to front, lining everything up as much as I can. And I'm just going to get a pencil so that I can actually know where I'm going to put the glue. I'm only going to put the glue in this tiny little section down the bottom here. So I'm going to do that next. And I'm going to lay this back on top of this one, like so, lining it up as good as I can with the images underneath. Oops. So I'm trying to get it as nice and neat as I can. If it needs to wiggle a little bit more, that's fine. So we've got that one on there like so. I've got a little bit of glue that oozed out there, but that's not going to put. And as you can see, that actually fits on there really, really nicely. So I'm going to do the same again. Now that one's good because that's going that way. This one, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to pop this on here like so. And I'm lining up my holes so that I know that I've got my holes around the right way. I'm going to draw my line across there again. And put my glue onto this section. I don't want my glue to come out of my holes. This time, when I close this up, I'm going to bring this over like so, lining up them holes again. And making sure they're all nice and neat. When I open that up, I can see that it's nicely on this side here. So once I'm happy with that, I have my 3 circles sitting on the top here like so. So when the card is closed, it is all even. It's not jiggity-jaggedy. So that is our card. So let me do the back of the card first, because it's just easier to do the back of the card before we do the inside. The inside and the other. So we're going to bring in this piece, and I'm going to stamp in Mossy Meadow, because that's this colour here. Oops. And I'm just going to stamp the words "Time to Celebrate." Now that doesn't look very straight to me. Maybe that's because it's not straight. There we go, that's better. Time to Celebrate, and that's all I'm going to put on the back. I'm not going to put anything else, just those words like so. So let's pop that out of the way, and we can glue those 2 pieces together and pop that onto the back of the card. Let's pull the glue off the top of that. And it's a warm day today. I've obviously got green on my fingers. So I don't get any more on there. Let's pop that on there. I will actually just put something over that at a later date. Okay, so that's going to go and glue onto the back of my card. I will find some little flowers from another set to put on that spot, just to cover that over. So once I've done that, I will lift that up and just give that a nice press down. It's just easier to do that before we get too many more layers on. So that's the back of our cards. We're going to open our card up now, and we're going to put our flowers on the inside like so, with our leaves. So I'm going to glue my leaves onto my zinnia. I don't know why that one looks like it's all gone fuzzy. And we're going to just glue those down flat onto our card. We don't want any bulk on the inside, because it will make it really, really hard for posting. And we don't want to make it any more difficult and more expensive than it has to. I mean, postage is, I don't know about in the rest of the world, but it's absolutely ridiculously priced here in Australia. So that's my card on the inside. So when that's closed, you still can't see any of the zinnias there. It's only when it's open that you can. Alright, so I'm going to close that up again, and I'm actually going to show you how I did this flower. So you have these 4 pieces like this, and the leaves. So you've got 2 different petals, the middle of the flower, and the stamens. So what I did to get this colouring around the edges, I got my Melon Mambo, because I'm using oh my goodness, I can't think of the name of the colour. What is it? Flirty Flamingo. So, and I just used my dauber, and I just went right around the edges of the leaf, the petals rather, with my dauber. And then I just slowly just move them around a bit. If they needed a bit more, I put a bit more on. If they don't, that's fine. I just thought it gave a better look than just being plain. And that's all I did with my zinnia leaves, petals. Again, I just pushed those ones up a tiny bit. Let's get the glue off, the ink off my fingers. And then I just tiny bit of glue on this one, and then arrange this on the top so that the petals overlap. So I was happy with where they were. That's great. I gave them a press down again and pushed them around again. Plop my middle piece in. And then my stamens, I just popped a tiny bit of glue on all of those little stars and arranged that over the top. And that was my flower. Okay, so while we've done that, and I'm going to actually put everything else on now with, dimensionals. Let me put the pin in my glue, which we're going to pop onto the front of the card. So let me get some dimensionals here, and we need some larger ones. So we need to just work out where we're going to pop these and our leaves. The leaves I might stick down flat. So let's see, we're going to pop these on here like so. So we'll pop 2 dimensionals on each one of these to give them plenty of stability. Get off there. Get off my finger. Okay, that one's sitting on there, and then I will just pop these on with some glue, a little bit of glue. I don't know that I'm going to use all 4. We'll see how it goes. Oops, get my leaf in there. Do I put 2 more on, or do I leave it? I think I'll put 2 more on. Yep. I'll put the other 2 on as well. Now let me turn my card upside down. I can just work better at this angle for inserting the leaves. And that's my zinnia leaves. So then we're going to pop some dimensionals onto the back of this. So we need a couple of large ones for the larger areas. And a couple of small ones in the middle, because I like mine to be nice and firm. I don't like anything that wobbles around way too much. No, I've done my happy birthday the opposite way around to the rest of the cards so that it stood out more. I just thought it looked better being brighter on the top. Okay, so now I have some of these adhesive shiny sequins, and these are also retiring. So it's in the what they class these days. They don't say retiring, those last charts. So once it's gone, it's gone. So we're going to pop some of these, and I'm going to use the green ones here, and I'm going to use the small green ones. So I'll pop one here, and I don't know where I'll put the other one. I think I'll just pop it there. So that's my card for today. I would have put on some Winker Stella, but I haven't got my Winker Stella over here with me at the moment. So this card, as I said, is called a Z-Fold Barn Door card. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's really nice. It lays flat to fit into a regular size envelope, and I just think it's just so gorgeous. And as you can see, green being my favourite colour. It's been done in green twice. And if you would like the written tutorial for this, head down below. You'll find the link there for Die Stands for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. It's my Facebook group. You do have to be a member. It's free to join. Please answer the question. If you don't answer the question, you will not be permitted to join the group. And you can just pick up the instructions, the written instructions. They come on a sheet like this, this is my prototype sheet, so I haven't got a photo on here, but it has inches and centimetres, so it's both metric and imperial, and it's European Australian sizing. And I will see you all again next week. Bye for now.